Our final University of Tulsa Hall of Fame honor team is the 1993-94 and 1994-95 University of Tulsa men's basketball teams. There was a feeling the 93-94 TU basketball team under third-year head coach Tubby Smith would be pretty good.
Yeah, I knew that the 93-94 team would be special because of the returning players.
Leaders such as Gary Collier, Lou Dawkins, and the emerging Pooh Williamson welcomed a talented freshman named Shea Seals.
They really welcomed me with open arms, and I think that, you know, with the togetherness that we had, I knew that we would do something special on the court.
A rugged non-league schedule saw losses to OSU and then top-ranked Arkansas in overtime.
The Arkansas game, that's exactly when. I think for us, it was a confidence booster. Hey, we can play with these guys.
That non-league schedule toughened up TU for the Missouri Valley Conference, where they blew through the league with a 15-3 record and a regular season championship. But that ecstasy was diminished when TU lost in the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament to Northern Iowa. At 21-7, there was no certainty that the Hurricane would get an at-large berth.
So we didn't know. We didn't know if we had a chance of getting in, so we were very disappointed.
We felt like at the time that we had to win the tournament in order to get to the NCAA.
You know, the anticipation, you know, and of waiting to hear whether you're going to get a berth or whether you're going to get a spot in the NCAA tournament is just, it's gut-wrenching, to be honest with you.
Snapping a 14 consecutive year appearance in the NCAA tournament last year. The UCLA Bruins are the 5th seed, 6th consecutive appearance, and they will play Tulsa. Tubby Smith, nice job manning that squad there.
I know our players exploded, and I didn't even really realize who we were playing at the time. You know, when you see your name pop up, you really don't even care. But then you come to realization that it's UCLA. You go, uh-oh.
So yes, it was UCLA, the most storied program in NCAA tournament history. Coached by Jim Herrick, the Bruins earlier in the year had been ranked number 1. In a pregame meeting involving both teams, Herrick unwittingly said the Bruins would wear blue. But then when reminded by an assistant, he corrected himself by saying, "I'm sorry, we'll wear white. We'll wear blue on Sunday."
At the time, I remember Rick Dixon, my athletic director, nudging me because he was sitting beside me saying, "You hear that?" I was like, I really wasn't paying much attention. I go, yeah. I hope it doesn't mean what it think it means. That, you know.
We didn't really need any bulletin board material, but we definitely got some from those guys, you know, and could tell from their attitude that they pretty much thought they were going to breeze through us.
And from the jump, Tulsa was better.
Oh, just perfection. You know, when you see a team just on a roll, playing well, focused, in that zone, I mean, that was that team at that point in time.
You can't explain it. I mean, it's like, if it could go right, it was going right.
In what could be considered the best 20 minutes in TU basketball history, the Golden Hurricane led UCLA 63-38 at halftime.
The most insignificant score in sports is the halftime score. So forget about it, fellas. In fact, I remember saying at halftime, fellas, you know, we've got to play a lot better second half, and I'm sure they were thinking, what's Coach talking about here?
And, you know, Coach Smith was like, guys, we can play better. And so we all looked at one another like, man, that was a pretty good 20 minutes, Coach.
UCLA made their run in the second half, but Kwanzaa Johnson made sure there would be no miracle comeback.
Johnson dribbling down court. Slam dunk by Kwanzaa from 7 feet out. He leaped in the air and slammed it down. Kwanzaa Johnson with a huge athletic play.
Then OSU in the second round. OSU dominated the first half, including a 40-footer by Brooks Thompson to take an 11-point lead at halftime.
And there was something that happened right before the half, and I didn't even see it until I'm watching it on tape. Brooks Thompson had made a shot right before the half to put him up by 14, I think, and he grabbed the ball and kind of, you know, shoved it or gave it to Gary Collier and said, hey, take that. And Gary Collier was a very emotional leader, too. And he came in, the first time I saw him emotional and crying and upset at halftime. I didn't know what it was. And I said, what's wrong with you? And, you know, we're going to be all right in the second half.
But TU battled back, and when Gary Collier got this putback, the Hurricane had the lead. After a stop, it came down to one big play.
Gary had the ball and was dribbling it out, and He made a play. They ended up helping up the floor a little bit, gave Lou a little distance. Gary kicked it to Lou, and the shot went up, and it was like it took it 10 seconds to go from Lou's hand to the basket. But when it went through and splashed, I mean, it hit nothing but the bottom of the net.
Just euphoria, looking around at guys that you love, you know, your teammates that you just love and adore and would do anything for, just to see the joy on their face.
8 months later, TU reconvened, and without Collier and Dawkins, the 94-95 squad would be different. Shea Seals stepped up and became even more of a leader, averaging over 18 points a game to lead the way, and led Tulsa in assists and steals. Pooh Williamson again was his steady self, upping his average to over 13 points a game and a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. Although losing on the road to Arkansas and OSU, the Hurricane got a big road non-conference win at number 22 New Mexico State. And then they dominated the Missouri Valley Conference. Hurricane went 15-3, and they won their second straight MVC outright regular season title.
As all the teams were back then, we were 10 deep. We had a lot of guys that had a lot of pride, a lot of good players.
I just remember, you know, just going out there, like I said, and playing hard as you can, for as long as you can, because we're so deep on the bench.
You know, if somebody didn't have a great night, there was somebody else to come in and pick them up pretty quick.
Even though they lost in the MVC finals, Tubby Smith's team didn't have to sweat out the NCAA announcement. They were a solid 6th seed, and they were sent to Albany, New York in the East Regional for a matchup with Illinois out of the Big Ten. As you might expect, the Illini was a rough and tumble group.
They kind of controlled the game most of the game. You know, I think we ended up making a run kind of midway through the second half, but if you can remember, they pretty much was handling us. You know, they were up probably 8 to 10 points throughout the game.
Trailing most of the game, TU chopped the lead down to 62-61 with less than a minute to play, and it was TU ball.
The play was really pretty much set up for out. It was a nice drawn-up play, but it came to a point where the ball came around to me, and I thought I was open, and I took the shot.
I just remember, like, Cordell took that three. It got tipped.
And when I missed it, my heart kind of fell in my lap.
Ray jumps up, Ray Poindexter, gets the rebound.
I mean, I was always a pass-first big man.
And all in one motion, Ray's a great passer. Ray turns, fires, and I caught it right in rhythm.
He missed it, and I just remember Ray getting his hands on it or grabbing it and kicking it out to Pooh.
I mean, the one thing I can remember, it was 1-2, and I got it off, and I didn't even notice the guy running into me. So, I mean, the one thing that I can really remember is I got it right in rhythm because Ray threw a great pass.
Tulsa down by 1. Right side to Love, fires a 3. It is blocked. The ball is loose. Poindexter comes up with it. Deep left side to Williamson. He launches a 3. He hits it, and he's fouled on the play. Oh, my goodness. Williamson with a left side 3. He nailed it, and he got bumped by Kiwan Garris. So count the bucket, and the Hurricane lead 64-62, and Pooh goes to the line for 1. Holy smokes.
I don't know if you can remember on the video, but as soon as he hits the shot, I go and grab him. Pooh was laying on the ground, but I pretty much yanked him from the ground all the way up above my shoulders because I was so excited. I grabbed him, and I lifted him up, and I grabbed him, and I hugged him.
Once he knocked down that shot, it took a big load off of my shoulders.
It doesn't get the limelight of the one that Lou Dawkins hit, but that was a very big shot, and it pretty much propelled us to the win against Illinois.
So TU advanced to the second round against Old Dominion, and this time the Golden Hurricane was ready from the jump. Shea Seals was outstanding. He would pump in 31 points in the game for the Golden Hurricane, and they also got 19 from Pooh Williamson, and it was a second straight Sweet 16 for TU. Back-to-back runs that had never happened before and not since. For their history-making performances, the first 2 Sweet 16s, the 1993-94 and 94-95 basketball teams now join the University of Tulsa Hall of Fame.
certainly, first, like everyone else, I got to give honor to God. Thank you for this opportunity. It's great to see the 61, 62 track team. What was that, 63 years ago? You guys are in amazing shape. I'm telling you. I'm hoping that I'm going to be this group. We were talking about this group at 30. That's 30 more years from here, fellas. That's 33 years from now that you'll be sitting here, hopefully being recognized. But what a special weekend. I want to thank the selection committee for inducting this team, these two teams. You see a lot of them familiar faces that won that first team in '94. Came back in '95. Unlike today, they'd be somewhere else. That's the way it's going in college sports today, but I really feel honored to be able to stand here tonight and celebrate with this group of young men and women that meant so much to me and my career. You know, Tulsa was my first head coaching job, and we took over the position. We talked about it before. I think we talked about it last time we were here about Rick Dixon writing the contract on a paper towel in a restaurant, and that's how I ended up taking the job. But it was the best thing that ever happened for me and my family. And I'm so grateful that we chose to come to Tulsa and be a part of something special. The Hall of Fame committee, Rick Dixon, all the people that were involved in this weekend, you've really outdone yourself. And I can just thank you from the bottom of my heart, certainly on behalf of this team and my family. You know, I was happy to see, Gary, obviously this team going in at the same time that Gary Collier, who was so important to us. I remember his mom is out there now. I remember when I took the job, one of the first things I did, I came to Fort Worth, Texas, to beg his mom, let him stay here, please. And just that we were going to do things right. And just to tell you the kind of guy Gary Collier is and the person he was. We had them all sign management contract that they would be the best in academics and set goals in academics, in basketball, their career goals, their social and their spiritual goals. It's something we've done everywhere we've been, but we really inherited. And Ron Jerza and my coaching staff, Jeff Snyder, who's not here, and Sean Finney, we all collaborated and put this together. But Gary, in his spiritual goals, he talked about being involved with church. He grew up in a Christian environment. And so when he was being honored as a senior, when he graduated, the members from the church came over to his graduation and honored him because he had been Sunday school teacher, things that we didn't, but he knew that that's what he wanted to do. But that's the kind of, he adhered to, he was committed. Even though he has one leg shorter than the other. Really, I saw him walking when I first got here, and he was kind of, I said, what are you doing, pimping around campus here, man? But being a physical education major and majoring in kinesiology, I understood the mechanics of shooting a shot. Am I not right, Gary? We had to change his approach. You tell a guy to shoot with his right foot in front of his left as he shoot a jump shot. Gary's, you saw it on the film. He shoots with his left foot in front of his right foot. And we had to make that adjustment to make sure, and he went on to be the best three-point shooter, shot 52%, 47% from threes that year. Went from being, I don't know how much he played the year before, maybe just a little, to being Missouri Valley Conference MVP and all the things. But really, I wonder, hearing him talk about Dwayne Bonner, a young man who came with Cordell Love from South Oak Cliff and roommate of yours, wasn't he, JR? Yeah, JR Rollo. So, and I know these guys, I know he's up there smiling and thinking about you guys as well. And Dr. Merriman, well, he was always right there taking care of our players, taking care of me, taking care of family members. And Tom Cross, another one who's passed, who was our strength coach at the time. I want to just recognize that what they meant to our program. Again, I want to congratulate all the inductees tonight, and to be able to be here today and celebrate with so many Tulsa family members, alum, and it's just a really one thing I used to tell the players, it's all about longevity. All you have to do is just last. I'm from a family of 17, and my dad would just talk about, boy, if you just be the last man standing, just do your job. Just do your job. No one's going to ask you to do anything you're incapable of doing. And so this group didn't overachieve. They achieved. So they probably should have done more. We ran into some pretty good teams at the end. Arkansas in '94 went on to win the national championship. UMass, Marcus Camby was first player picked in the NBA draft, had like 8 blocks and 9 blocks. Well, we ran into some tough competition once. But what they achieved those 2 years, and I've got to give credit to the 2 previous teams. I don't want to leave them out because the 90-91 team lost in the championship game of the Missouri Valley Conference that year. So we had Gary was on that team. They stole it from us, and then the next year we couldn't compete. We had an outstanding team. In fact, Jay Malum's brother, Jeff Malum, where's Jay? Jay's brother was on that team, and we had Jody Huffman, the kids from right here locally, and they begged me, Coach, bring us back for another year. But we had already signed some pretty talented players, like Pooh Williamson was my first recruit ever here at Tulsa. So I'm just sharing these stories with you because it's more than I know what they've meant to my career, being the first opportunity I had, and I want to thank you guys because you mean so much to me. I'm gonna let one of them say something, but again, we wouldn't have been able to do it. You know what they say, behind every good man, every successful man stands a good wife and a surprise mother-in-law. So I couldn't do it without my lovely wife, Donna, and the guys were telling me stories about what she meant to them. So thank you, Donna. And thank you, everyone. Listen, Pooh, you want something to say? I know, Gary, Lou, one of you guys? Please, Lou. Well, Lou was one of our captains. He was a captain on that team my first year here, and the second and the third year.
Every year.
Go ahead, Lou. That's it. Go ahead.
Giving honor to God. When I found out a couple months ago that we were selected to go into the Hall of Fame, it was a dream come true. These young men, you guys are still young, right? Yeah. We suffered and sacrificed a lot together. We joke around, and one of the worst things that we did every single day was run from here up to Rogers High School. And we used to talk about coaching and curse him out on our way to the track. But it benefited us. It really did. You're talking about brotherhood, bonding on that track, suffering in that heat of 110 degrees every day. But one thing it did, when we took those steps on that basketball court, we knew whoever we played against, we were going to beat them. Coach Smith, for me, for my family, the Hurricane family, you mean a lot to us. A lot of people don't know, and Coach Smith is one of 4 or possibly 5 African American coaches that have won a national championship. You know, he's in the history books. And tonight, you know, my family's out there. You know, my youngest son, Elijah, he's 8. It's a blessing when you can rewind your life and fast forward to today, in which we didn't have any families or kids and beautiful wives. And for tonight, for them to be part of this is a special moment for all of us up here. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, it's great to be remembered. It's great to be recognized. We often talk about, you know, when we're going through the arena and we see the locker rooms and the weight room and the facilities that these guys got and the nutritionists and meal plans, and we think, man, these guys have got it made. They've got it made. We didn't have it that good, you know, but I've always been an optimist, and I think they don't have it as good as we got it. We had it. And the reason why is our guys were committed. They were loyal. We played for each other, you know, and now it's a little bit different, you know. It's a little bit different, you know, scene's different, and you come to play for a school for a lot of different reasons than what we did. You know, you were loyal to them, you were committed, you were brothers, you were in the trenches. And, you know, we're honoring the track team, but when I first got here, you know, coach got here, I thought, hey, we was on, is this a track scholarship or a basketball scholarship? But the thing about the hard times and the hard work is that, you man, your hard blood, sweat, and tears, you become brothers and sisters. We got a sister in here, and when you're going through something tough like that, you become a bond, and I'm just thankful, and I thank God that we've continued to cherish that bond, and thank the committee once again for allowing to recognize us and putting us on the history books. Appreciate it.